Hey YouTube, Mike the Alpha Hoarder here. If you don't know me and the channel name didn't tip you off, I hoard and collect Alpha cards. Although today I'm adding something a little bit different to my collection. This is going to be about 7th edition foils. But before I get into that, I do want to open up this one card that I've been very excited to get. Very eager to see how this guy looks. Now I am aware that he has a roller line down his back, but that seems to be pretty unavoidable with some of these foils. Ooh, look at that. Metalworker, quite an iconic card. I have a pretty fun deck that I use this guy in. And I've been looking around for a copy for ages. I was trying to hold out for one with no roller line, but that just doesn't seem to exist for the Urza stuff. Yeah, so you can see it at an angle. But you know, it's not as pronounced as I thought it would be in person. Beautiful. These old foils really are nice. And look at that. No pringling at all. They used to know how to do it. So, I guess that guy can lead us into a little discussion here. So Rudy recently did a video where he made the claim that he doesn't even think there are 1,000 of the rare 7th edition foils. And he kind of made a similar message to another video. He had a video earlier than that where he said that Arabian Nights is like the alpha of expansion sets. And then in this other video he kind of related 7th foils to alpha. I guess he's kind of leaning on maybe this is the alpha of foils. And it got me wondering if that's true. This isn't something I've ever really gone deep into, but I did pick up a couple of nice hits, and I have a handful here. Really, the ones I have mostly are cards that existed in, ABU. I kind of thought it'd be cool to get 7th foil versions, even though all the artwork is different. But Nightmare, the Elves. They are nice. These are cool cards. Enchantress, Howling Mine. Underground River. It's a cool one. I do like these more than I thought I would, so I don't know if maybe this is something I'll dig into a bit. But, well, anyway, when 7th edition came out, you could get 1 foil rare per box. That was pretty much how it worked out. That's a nice one. And Dual Brain MTG mentioned also that there were the Mole, MOL, full sets that you could get at the time. And there's just a lot of question about what the print run might have been, and as a consequence, what the value should be. Really excited to see this. I'll open this up while I'm chatting. So if you dig around on the internet, what seems to be the most informed number comes from a Reddit thread some years back, which pegs it at 6,800 per rare, which seems plausible. It's a lot of guesswork that goes into all these things. The print runs of the sets at large were sort of insane at that point in Magic's history. But then again, if these were that rare, people who would get them would really want them and would keep them. We're sort of seeing that now with the Kamigawa Neon Ink stuff. So It did seem plausible. It does seem plausible. I mean, and Rudy was right. Some of the foil rares, there really is nothing on the market. And he compares this to Alpha also. Now, I picked up a couple nice pieces, but I'll just say my impression of that as a buyer of Alpha for many years is that it's not that much different. There are plenty of Alpha cards that you just can't find. They almost never show up on market. And that does seem to be the same case here. One thing I noticed though is the cards in the 7th foil that do have inventory, there's a lot of them. Whereas for Alpha, there's very few cards that have, it's almost no cards that have more than say 40 listings, but very few cards have that many. So it's interesting that there's that much of a disparity between the commons and the rares. And I was thinking about it. The game definitely had wider exposure by the time 7th edition was out. I would imagine for a lot of people, 7th edition was their first set. And so it's possible that the nostalgic exposure, let's say, the nostalgic potential might have been larger. Yeah. Oh, that is nice. More people could afford, these cards, say, and so it's possible that there's a large collector market that has this cornered. But what I did was I checked the PSA registry. Let me just take a look at this. That is fantastic. I have been really pleased with CGC. I think they're proving to be quite reliable. Their grading is tough and spot on. Wow, what a card. Yeah, so this was quite a set for me today. Very different than what I usually do. Usually if it's not Alpha, I end up bummed out, but I think I'm okay with this. In any case, I pulled up the PSA registry. And, do this yourself and look. If you go to navigate in there, find Alpha. Basically, all the cards have pops of between, say, 35 and 100, with a few outliers. The big hitting ones, might be around 200, say. Then you can find your way over to 7th edition and filter on foil, and ignore the Japanese ones. And there's nothing. This card in PSA has the highest pop, and it's 16. And almost every other card that's listed there has a pop that's under 5. And that was really unexpected. I'm not sure what that's about. One thing that occurred to me is it's a consequence of the condition. So I'm not sure I agree with Rudy when he says that these are more rare than Alpha rares, but it might be the case that these in true near mint are more rare than Alphas in near mint. And it's because of the foiling. I'll show you an example. So all of these that I bought at the near mint level. And yet, many of them came with just, I don't know if it's going to show on the camera. Yeah, okay, you can see it just at the edge of the glare. Look at the clouding. Look at how the black looks like there's fingerprints all over it. That's not fingerprints. That's actually sort of like it's almost like a layer of residue. I don't know if it's the foil disintegrating or what, but it's called fogging. And it is so common. And even the cards that are labeled near mint, so many of them have it. I picked up this batch so far. What have I got here? I don't know, a dozen. I would say an easy third of them are just ruined from the clouding. And I think that's just what happens. I don't even think it's necessarily a consequence of being handled too much, although I can't be sure about that. If that's the case, it would explain... Oh, I hope this guy doesn't have foiling. It doesn't have fogging. Oh, no, good. He looks nice. That one's cool. It might explain the very strange pop report, because most people won't bother sending in a card for grading if it's not going to grade well. And if you have one of these cards that's all fogged up, you're probably not going to send it in. So I don't know if it's that the 7th foils didn't become popular or get much recognition before, say, 2 years ago, or if it's because so few of them are in good condition. But if you couple the fact that the inventory for some of the rares, at least, does seem similar to alpha rares, and the pop report is a fraction of the alpha pop report, even though the print run estimates put it much higher, it does make you wonder. These could be... He could be right if you're talking strictly in terms of condition. And so then I guess the next question is, what are these things worth? And that's hard to say. This to me feels like a very specialized small supply group. There's almost no price data. It feels a lot like summer magic to me. You know, the price of this card was kind of ridiculous. I was surprised. I didn't realize when I got it that it's one of the more sought after ones. I thought it was so beautiful. And that's probably why it's so sought after. But the price was a bit absurd. And the reason for that is because there were basically 2 available. This one and one much less nice. And that was it. And that's a lot like what summer magic is. You know, I've showed it before. Let me see if I can get to it right this second. Yeah, here we go. This is my summer Sarah Angel. I have had a watch, an alert, saved search with an alert on eBay set up for years. This card has never gone to market. Not once. You basically can't get it unless you go to a dealer who has an inventory of it. And you know, the person I got it from only had 2. Now only has 1. You can't get this card. So I can set the price. If you want this, you're going to pay what I want you to pay, because otherwise you're not going to get it. And that's what this feels like to me. These some of these foils. For the reasons that I'm not fully understanding, the inventory really is as close to 0 as some of the alpha cards. But because of the special nature of them, and you know, the sort of, it's a niche market in a niche market. It really feels like summer. The liquidity is super low. There is no market price. It's even more speculative than the rest of it. So I'm dabbling a bit just because they really are nice. I'm surprised. I'm not usually a fan of anything more modern than, you know, the old ABU stuff, but this kind of foiling, you know, they didn't do the foil over the picture or the text box. It's just the frame. It has a nice rainbow to it. It really is nice. I like these. These are beautiful cards. So I'm dabbling a little bit in this, but I think this is an area where caution is clearly indicated. If condition rarity is this extreme, and some rares are completely off the market, then, you know, there definitely is potential when you have a situation like that. Again, your liquidity will be super low, but, you know, if you pick up a card, like, you know, say my Enchantress is gradable. Let's see, is this guy fogged up? Oh no, okay, yeah, that one's nice and clean. So, you know, suppose this is gradable. If there's basically no pop, you know, this could be a there could be opportunity for flipping and other things like that. You know, some of Rudy's videos have been about cornering some of these markets. There might be something there. I don't know, but definitely use caution. Same with Summer Magic. I'll do a separate video on that sometime. But when you get into these markets that are, you know, subsets of already small markets, the market depth is so low. Your liquidity is going to be almost zero. It's a tricky space to play effectively. But, you know, high risk, high reward. So that's it for today. Thanks so much for sticking around. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and create a profile for my cat on Tinder. See you next time.